Welcome everybody, welcome to the tomb of EL-lumination. Another little physics lesson regarding the flat earth system. Debunking the lies, the globe lies. This one's about understanding declination in the magnetic field and how they sort of deceive you a bit. Basically telling you it all involves their spinning ball, but no, it's just the magnetic field of the earth. You see, earth is fixed and stationary because it's from the center black hole. The center black hole of creation is the Father. It's where everything comes from. It's that stillness, that place of perfection, balance, and out of there that's just comes creation. So we all need to go back to that place of pure bliss, pure rest, balance, and all the action around it is what creates our realm. It's all the friction around the perimeter of that black hole, and that friction created the sun. Because the sun, the illuminated star, sits right on the horizon of the black hole. That's where the most friction is happening around the hole. It's divergence. Ken Wheeler talks about this divergence and magnetism and all that, and that's what it is. It's always, the magnetic field is always diverging around this black hole of rest, state of rest. And in our earthly system, there's some pairing going on sometimes, not all the time. And when they get the pairing, that feeds the black hole, and what's not paired is just friction, which feeds the sun. So the pairing, you go back to, it involves consciousness. It's all, our entire earthly realm is consciousness. So some man on earth has to be in the right state of consciousness, balance, and there he will be paired with a female on earth, and that feeds the entire system. We're all connected in this energy field, and that perfection will set him free. He'll be released from this matrix, because this earthly matrix is balanced between good and evil. It always has to be good and evil. It can never not be, because it will cease to exist. Because it would find bliss, that perfection, that perfect balance of, there'd be no friction between good and bad. And that friction is what is, feeding our realm. Because if there was no evil, we'd all come into this state of blissfulness, and then it would all cease to exist. We'd all be heavenly. So the only way man escapes this matrix is to go within himself and find this equilibrium of perfection, if you know what I mean. But I go into a bit more detail on my Patreon if you're interested, in the Saints department. But we're going to just talk about a couple of things, common things that people should know, and that's understanding a magnetic cycle. Understanding a magnetic cycle. So you take Earth, it's like a ring magnet. Your science tells you it's like a magnet. They just don't tell you how all that works. So South Pole is an in, and a North Pole is an out. That's all you need to know about magnetism. Apart from the spin here. So your South Pole will come in, spin around that place of rest, the black hole center, dead center of our creation, right in the center there. Right in the center here, spin around it and out again, over for the north, coming out as the north, going in as the south, in and spin out. Nigel Cheese talked about this, but they all sort of laugh at him because they don't want you people wanting anyone to know the truth. Spin around the black hole, the place of rest. There's all this friction, okay? There's two fields. There's this field coming over here towards it, and this field coming up off the ground. So it's magnetic induction through capacitance coming over here, and then you have an earthing, which is pure magnetism, you could say, because over here you got the two south poles. You can look into that later. Capacitance and magnetic induction building up on the sides here, creating this energy that feeds over to there, and magnetism, which is earthing straight off the earth. And they're finding some balance. Some finds balance. Otherwise, it just passes by to create the friction. There has to be some balance to keep feeding the black hole. Okay? So there has to be some good occurring in our realm to feed the black hole, and a lot of it friction to form the sun. The sun's illuminated through this friction, and the friction is the sound, you see, created the right frequency to illuminate the sun, which is in this 2D plane, which created the 3D depth, the magical magnetic depth illuminated by the sun above. It's sort of separating the male entity from the female. So the female comes down into here as the moon, while the king, the man, the male, stays up on the king of the castle, up down the 2D plane. So realise the 2D plane is like a wave. Splash the middle of the pond, and out comes the wave. On the nodal points, the high points of the planets, they all circle around the center black hole. But the sun is right on the direct horizon of the black hole, so it has the most energy, and it's faster because it's got a smaller course, smaller circuit. This is the sun of creation, not the sun image we see out here. That's the actual sun. This is there you need to understand Genesis in the Bible. It talks about this flat plane initially, then comes this 3D projection, which is the moon. Okay, and then after this pops up, because that's this sun and moon appears in our realm out here after this has been created. Because as soon as this is created, our realm, exploded inverted realm, is created. Then you've got the separation of the waters and the below and above, and then you get the image of a sun and the image of a moon, and because they're all holographic projections now from this place in here. The Father of creation. Realize the Father's the black hole. Fatha in Arabic, basically telling you it's a black hole. So our earthly realm will always be balanced with good and evil. Man can only leave this world through finding balance within himself, which is a bit confusing. You've got balance here, and he has to find balance. But you've got to understand, there's balance between good and bad in this realm, but man has to find balance, which is how do you describe that? It's a conscious state of being. The balance comes into it when he gains his feminine aspect. He lost it. See how the male, this point here, this is created, is separated. The moon comes down here. The female comes out of the male. So the moon does this negative cycle, but the king's up here. But at the end of the day, they are one. They come back together at new moon. But they're separate. They come through the cycle. Away from each other, come back to each other. Away from each other, come back to each other. That's how the sun and moon work. So man has to do the same thing. He lost his female at this physical realm creation when he came into the physical world. He lost his female entity. That's his lost Lilith. And he has to find her again. Okay? The other story is, got Adam and Eve. Adam is evenly split away from the male. The rib cage. It's an atom. Adam. I've been into all that stuff before. If there was no evil, there would be no balance. it'd all go to a place of rest. Then all life would cease to exist. We wouldn't have to go through this realm anymore. So, it would be good if we could take all the evil out of this realm, and then we'd all go into this other realm of God-like state of being in heaven. We'd all be actually be in heaven. But it's just this realm, this matrix you're in, where all the good and all this evil shit's going down. It's the balance, and it just has to be that way. It's up to you as an individual to get beyond it. In ancient texts and that, it tells you there will always be wars and death and destruction, but you don't go there. You go the other way. Don't even think about it. That's the secret. You don't play that game. You're going to be way away from it, because that keeps the pure relaxed system that needs to develop between your heart and mind to ascend to a higher realm, to leave this crappy matrix. Okay, it's connecting man with the earthly system. So let's talk about magnetic declination. It's the difference between true north and Earth's curving magnetic field of its toroidal wave. Now, there's a 3D computerized imaging online somewhere where it's showing you this wave, this S-curve wave, how it forms the toroidal field. It forms the shape of a toroidal field. This turning, because its creation all comes back to nothing. And then it's created, and it creates this toroidal realm, toroidal field, and there's a flat plane inside of it, and we all dwell on that flat plane as just pixels or images in the pixelated screen, and the screen's all moisture. Okay, that's why we see the stars in the sky, because it's all projections into the moisture atmosphere. Okay, with a night black backdrop. You can never gain on the celestial bodies. That's why man has his arc of horizon, sort of like this. He's always standing zenith. Everything is equally distant away from him. Passes over his horizon, goes out of his horizon, comes in, over and out. Now, what you need to understand is your science, your false science tells you that, say, 750,000 years ago, the Earth's magnetic field flipped, which is 100% fucking bullshit, They're just full of it all the time. This is how the Earth works. It's always been like this, eh? It's never been a total iced over plain or a flood. People don't even understand religion. They shouldn't even be reading the Bible if they're going to be believing all the stuff literally. This is a North Pole. The Antarctic is a North Pole. So they lie to you there. The centre north is the number one North Pole. At the centre here, North Pole. And the South Poles are the tropics. Cancer and Capricorn. It has to be that way because the field swings around. That's declination. Declination between that curve and a direct line to the centre north. Basically is what they're telling you, what declination is. You want to travel, do your calculations, avoid this frickin' long curving track, come direct. But now you have the laser gyros that are preset for all the big ships and planes and whatever, and they're always going direct. So you've got to understand the magnetic field is a north, comes over to a south pole, drops to the ground, along the ground, up the north, over to the south again. So these are the south poles. The field has always worked this way. It has to work this way because that's where the capacitance is, the electromagnetic induction that builds up to create the energy to warm our earth and give us electromagnetism. And that's where we see the image of our sun in this area, because that's where it's created. Where we see the image of the sun is at the end of the Milky Way, one end of the Milky Way. Because the real sun's back here. At night, we don't see that sun in the Milky Way. No, we're seeing this sun in the Milky Way, the real sun. See, it's one end of the Milky Way, the sun, the black hole, Sagittarius A, they like to tell you, because we're looking back this way. And the other end of the Milky Way is the female end. Okay? So they're always talking about one end coming off the Earth and the other end up top towards the north. But just going a bit deeper. But understand, this is the Milky Way, two ends of it. And that's the sun, the real sun. That's in behind the Milky Way, they call the Gigantuan. That white cloud in behind the Milky Way is that sun there, okay? Because we see all this at night. Because at night backdrop, the sun is facing out this side. So we can't see this side of the world, we only see our dark side. The sun's facing this way, projected out from the centre. So it's all illuminated on this side, isn't it? That side's not illuminated. It's day and night. It's curved like this. Shape of a boomerang, actually. Quite easy to understand. So this is the way the energy field works. There's no way it can flip. How can it flip? It can't come out of here and go over there. Where's the capacitance? Where's the gap? Where's the dielectric gap? This dielectric gap is the magnified image of the black hole. Okay? All the actions around the perimeter of the black hole. Well, these are the two perimeters, either side, all the way around here. That's the perimeter. Perimeter, there and there. The two fields, male and female, not male and female, strong and weak force. So this all around here is actually the center black hole. It takes a bit of thinking to understand it, but there's a circle. Actually, these two fields could be the two actions around the black hole center. Let's not go there. I haven't got that on my mind. I don't want to confuse myself. I don't confuse most people. Okay, let's move on. So what they tell you is over say 780,000 years you get a magnetic phase shift or flip in the magnetic field. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. So how can that be? How can those two be negatives? They be positives. What is this shift anyway? The field can't go that way, so it has to come this way. So can that be a south? These become north, and the same thing happen? Negative fields here? I don't think so. No way. It's all BS. So what's actually happening? The ball isn't turning that little bit like they tell you over a million years or whatever. No. Yeah, what I'm getting at here is magnetic declination. It moves a little bit. Roughly, what they say up near the pole, North Pole, 1 degree every 3 years, but they don't really know over a long period of time. So they come up with these astronomical dates, which is fair enough, picking an astronomical date because that's how long it takes. What's actually happening is the Earth evolves out from its center and turns like this. Because everything in our realm works like this. The golden ratio, right? So Earth itself is slowly spiraling out and turning. So over millions of years, what came out of there is now out here in the Antarctica. It might have come from the tropics and been out here now. And they tell you, but beneath the snow, ice, doing their core drilling, they find it was tropical. Because everything comes slowly spirals out eastward. So if the land masses are moving eastward 1 degree per year, 3 years, then obviously it'll seem like the declination is, it's moving. Your curving magnetic fields are going west. Understand? So the Earth is going that way. Magnetic field stays there. It's always coming out of the centre. It can't change. It's always spiralling out. But the land mass, because they have to relate everything to a land mass, don't they? Well, how else are they going to know that the flipping your declination is changing? So you've got a land mass here, and it's spiraled out a little bit. It's come down here. So they tell you the magnetic declination has moved this way, when really it's just the land mass moving. So it's so minute, isn't it? They pick 750,000 years, but if you divide 780,000 years or something by 3, you come up with about 250 degrees. That's what I mean by they're just picking big numbers and don't really know. But I mentioned this flipping a few years ago, that's how the Earth moves, because it's all to do with subduction and the overlay, because it's just the way our whole realm is. It's this Fibonacci golden ratio spin, because everything comes out of creation here. S curve. What can I refer to there? There's something, skin flaps. Can't remember now. No, okay. So that's basically what the video is about. While I'm here, like, if you guys want to make some t-shirts, there's your flat earth system. There's the magnetic field lines, but they're infinite all the way around. And look at it, it looks like a sea anemone. We get these in New Zealand, little suction area. You put your finger in there, it sucks on your finger. Quite cute, actually. This represents the Milky Way, except that it comes along and passes down through into the centre north, comes down into here. But the end of the Milky Way is where we see the sun, our image of the sun, out there in the tropics. And wherever that is being created, the sun is being created, you've got the two fields there, the two positive fields, either side of the tropics, say. Let's take that off for a minute. They sit like that. But as this turns, the magnetic field is approaching, that is always following the sun. And that's where you're getting your capacitance and electromagnetic induction build up, where that sun is. Right around there. It's always there. The magnetic field is always moving, but that's where you're getting the energy build up, right there, because maybe the field's not changing there. The field changes here. The magnetic field will change with the electrical, and the electrical will cause the magnetic field to change. Okay, so the real sun is back here in the centre. They've known this all along. They don't highlight it. And if you go deep into the bowels of the internet and ask the right questions, you find the true sun's in there. It's basically the timekeeper. What do they call it? Atomic timekeeper. That sun back in there. Because the sun we see, the image is moving around all over the place. This one here, but the actual sun's very boring. It just does circles. Circles like that. But with the flux of the ecliptic plane up and in, and our image follows this flexing of the plane up and in, it's coming up and in, up, down and out, up and in, down and out, up and in, as well as going around every year, every day. Okay? So this is a good model. No one's ever shown you this before, except for my earlier videos. Understand the whole flat earth model. I've got all the answers if you want to debunk any of those dumb, simple-minded globe believers. Check out my other videos if you haven't been here before. Not many people see these videos, especially after the Jeranism show. They've, the disease has obviously got control. They're connected with YouTube, and they've reduced the numbers, comments, views. It was pretty stuffed before anyway. I've been around for like 6 or 7 years, but you only get a couple of hundred. I only get a couple of hundred views. I'm the only guy on the whole looks like in the whole world, can show everything, all the physics with the flat earth model. Thanks for watching. Put a likes up. Don't forget to subscribe and share the information, because if everyone shared it, other people should be latching onto it and maybe coming over and getting some more information and sharing it all. But it doesn't seem to be getting out there because I don't get much of a feedback. Not that I go looking. I don't follow other people's channels. I don't take any information off other people. Other people might highlight something, might boost my knowledge a little bit, but I know the system, and I worked it all out myself because I can understand what the ancients have left us. This is all described in ancient religion or religions, ancient texts, the Egyptians, mainly the Egyptians, but then you read all the esoteric texts like Homer's Iliad, all sorts of books there, and it just gives you the whole picture. If you want to understand the phoenix rising, there's your phoenix tree. See? The prongs, and there's the seasonal flower, the Milky Way. Look at it. Makes you wonder when that flower comes out. Is it springtime? Because everything concerns spring. Man's awakening is in spring. Earth's balance is in spring, or just beginning of spring, first week of spring, 6th day of creation. See the phoenix tree? Phoenix rising. Phoenix rising. The water molecule comes up through here. Its point here is the neutral zone, what they call you got a proton, electron, and a neutron. It's a neutron here. They come in here and find pairing, this side and this side, because this is the weak force, strong force. So they come together. So the magnetic field is always flowing. It's always flowing, right? But now and then they get this pairing. Well, the pairing is the balance, the perfect balance that feeds the black hole. But not all is balancing. It just keeps flowing. The magnetic field just keeps flowing. The infinity symbol. And this pairing creates the black hole, and the energy created between here overall goes up the Milky Way and feeds the sun. All the friction, the frictions of the two running down here, one curving in this way, one curving in this way, just here, curving here, curving there, and just the movement of the sun. Everything sort of works together, creates the friction which feeds the sun. Everything's about resonance. Okay? I think I've put enough into this video. Seems pretty straightforward to me. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Cheers.